Good morning, everybody. Excuse the light in here. This is really not about wig color or anything else right now. Where the light is a critical thing. As long as you can see me, that's all you need. I wanted to talk a little bit about thinning a wig and particularly thinning a mono top wig. Just give a couple of tips about that. This particular one is the John Renaud January in 22F16. I was doing something. Doing something with my makeup, so I had to clip it out of my face. I actually have thinned this wig on the sides. Now, I have worn quite a few Januaries, and I've done that without thinning them, okay? I can wear them without thinning them. I can. But, and you know, there's a variation. Some seem a little bit thicker than others. And a lot of that, I think, has to do with just the variation from piece to piece. Now, thinning a mono top wig is a little bit trickier than thinning, say, one with a mono part or one that is a basic cap. One reason is you've got this mono top from here to here. So you've got this entire section, and you don't want to thin sections into the mono top area and limit your ability to part this anywhere you want. So if you part it on the left and then you thin things up here and you part it over, then all of a sudden you're exposing all the short hairs possibly where you have used your thinning shears. I brought my thinning shears out here. Just got these little set at Walmart. So I never thin a mono top wig up in here. However, you'll find that if you thin some along the sides, that the top, which has always seemed so thick, will not seem quite so thick anymore because it's laying over less hair and it can lay nicer. This particular one I have done some thinning on. Can you tell anything terrible's been done to it? No. And I can actually, you know, part it in the mono top area, anywhere I need to part it, and it will work out just fine. Now, the way that I thin my mono top wigs, and yeah, I prefer mono top or at least mono part, but with a mono part you have a little bit more area that you can thin without getting into critical areas where it will show if you part in a different location. The way I thin the sides of a mono top wig like January here is I use this little gem, this little rat tail brush. Now, this side of this brush I hardly ever use because I don't like to brush my wigs. I don't like to brush any of my wigs. The only thing I might use this brush on, now each of these little teeth has got a little soft ball on the end, so it's not, you know, harsh on the wig. But you don't want to use this on these wavy styles because they'll get bushy, and you don't want to use this on heat-friendly styles. It just damages the wigs, in my opinion. So, I mean, it's one thing to do like this up at the top where it's straight, but you don't want to run this through these waves, in my opinion. You know, take my opinion with a grain of salt. This is just my experiences. This came with a set. Excuse me, I'll show you this. This came in a set of 2 brushes. This brush right here has loops. I don't know if you can even see this. These are loops. I don't even know how you'd use this brush. I think this might be better on longer hair. I've never used this brush. But this little brush, this rat tail part, I use this all the time. And let me show you how I thin. Oh wait, I'm not going to thin any more out of January. I think she's thin enough. I'm kind of debating on whether I should keep this or not. 22F16 is a beautiful non-rooted blonde. It's very natural looking blonde. It's a little bit of a bright blonde for me. I found I'm not reaching for this that much. In fact, I think I've only worn it off property one time. It's not that it's, I'm not talking about shiny, I'm not talking about that. I mean, there may be, if you think any blondes are a little bit too shiny, more than a natural sheen, you can always use dry shampoo. But I just means it's bright. It's just a bright, light blonde. And I just don't know the tones of it. I just haven't reached for it. So I'm debating on selling this January. This is a regular January, average size cap, not hand tied, just the normal January in 22F16. But the way I usually do this is, first, I don't do it right around the face. I don't thin anything. I take the face and leave that out of it. Then I will use this rat tail and take off this top section, get it out of the way. I would usually clip it. Then I will take this and take a very thin section like that, no thicker than, no wider than, say, the scissors. Then I take my thinning shears right here and I put this flat side on the underneath right up against the cap, and then I will do 1, 2, or 3 depending on how much hair I think I need to get out of it. And when I do that, then I will lightly run it down. I won't yank it down, very lightly run it down. That'll get rid of some of the excess hairs that you have thinned out. And then after that, I will just take my comb and do this and make sure that I get rid of all the hairs that I have cut out of there. And then you do that, and every time you do a pass, you reassess. Is it getting too thin? You don't want to do a lot of thinning without reassessing every time. Now, I normally would do this on a mannequin head at the beginning, but I think, and in fact, if you're thinning the back, you definitely have to do it on a mannequin head. But I think if you do it on your own head, it's probably not a bad idea, because then you don't have to take it on, put it off, of the mannequin head. You can just do it on your head, then you can reassess and see what it looks like. I've done both sides of this January, and I honestly think this one lays a lot nicer than it did originally. I really do. This is such it's a beautiful wig, and I really think thinning this particular one just made it better. Some Januaries seem like they have a lot of hair. Now, my hand-tied January, you definitely do not need to thin that one. My petite one that I have up for sale in the community section, I did the same exact thing on that one that I did on this one. And she lays beautifully. I think that's a lot of the problem a lot of people have with January when they get a January. And a lot of other John Renault styles is they just have a lot of hair. They really do. And it may or may not be the permatease. This has permatease, yes, but it's not the permatease that's the problem with January. To me, it's just it has a lot of hair on the sides. And then that makes the top seem thicker. Once you get that underlayer thinned out, the rest of it lays so much nicer. So that's the way I thin my wigs with monotops. Never thin up in here in the monotop area. Of course, if this was actually a mono part only, you could thin up into here. You could do that because you wouldn't be parting it on the other side necessarily. But because I want the option of being able to part it on the right as well as the left, I never thin up into the mono top area. I hope this was helpful for you. I know it's not a huge tutorial or anything, but I do have a piece coming this week. Let me tell you, it is not a brand new piece on the market, I had ordered an Onda in Bahama Beige. But they said it was on back order for the manufacturer. And this was from a UK retailer, very, very well-known, well-respected UK retailer. I'd ordered her online, and they said, well, she's out of stock, for another month. And would you like, so I went ahead and I said, well, I'll just wait, because, I'll just wait until she's back in stock. And so I canceled my order. That would have been my next review. But upon researching the wig and the color, Bahama Beige, I have since found out that in researching the color descriptions and the color codes on Ellen Villa, I have found out that essentially Bahama Beige is sandy blonde rooted. That's the exact same description. And I have had sandy blonde rooted, and sandy blonde rooted, the root was too dark. It was very dark. So I have decided not to go with that. It's too similar, in my opinion, to Girl Mono. And I might as well get Girl Mono and something like Champagne Rooted, which I've had before. But you know, therein we have a problem with the rooted blondes. That's one brand that I just wish they could get some non-rooted blondes, because they fit me so well. But you know, I'm sorry I won't have an Onda for you. If I get, you know, if I got one in a clearance or something, I might try it anyway. But you know, my next one is not going to be a brand new style. It's going to be a new to me color on a style I already love. So stay tuned for that, maybe at the end of this week, depending on the mail. So you guys have a great day, and I hope this was a little bit helpful, the tips on thinning your mono top wig. And sorry about this crazy lighting. I just hate waiting till the end of the day to do my videos when the lighting is better. And I know it's better at the end of the day, I know this, but by the time it gets to the end of the day, I don't want to get out here and do a video. I'm done for the day. So crazy lighting it was, but thank goodness we don't really need that much lighting. And I'll turn around and show you this in case I decide to go ahead and let her go. I'll go ahead and show you this, and so you can assess this color for yourself in this bright light. A very bright light. She's pretty cute, huh? Yeah, I just love January, but this color, you know, I think it's beautiful. Get me wrong, it's a beautiful non-rooted blonde. 22F16 has a lot of ash in it. It's not as ashy as something like Palm Springs blonde, obviously, or Martini, because it has no gray in it. But it's a nice blended, very natural color with a super beautiful lace front. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? It is a beautiful color. Nice to see you again, ladies. Talk to you soon. Bye.